Nepal, a nation nestled in the Himalayas, is currently at a critical turning point. The streets of its capital, Kathmandu, are a scene of intense civil unrest, reminiscent of major historical movements. What began as scattered demonstrations has escalated into a full-blown crisis, with the very symbols of government and media being targeted. Protesters have been seen burning down the parliament and Supreme Court buildings, a clear sign of the people's fury towards the political establishment. The situation is so volatile that even prominent politicians have not been spared, with reports of them being injured in the chaos. This public outrage has already led to the resignation of the Nepali Prime Minister. But it seems this is not enough to quell the anger of the people. A major media house has also been set ablaze, suggesting that the public's distrust extends to traditional media, which they may feel is complicit or failing to represent their voices. In a shocking display of popular discontent, senior government officials have been chased away by the very citizens they are meant to serve. So, who are the faces behind this revolution? This is not a movement led by old political guard, but by a new generation, Gen Z, born after the year 2000. These young people, digitally native and globally aware, are using technology to mobilize and share their grievances. They're demanding an end to the systemic corruption and nepotism that has plagued their nation for decades, and they're not backing down. Adding another layer of complexity to this internal conflict is the shadow of a geopolitical proxy battle. Analysts are speculating that the unrest could be fueled by a struggle for influence between global powers like the US and China, each with a vested interest in the region. This rivalry could be exacerbating the country's already fragile political and economic state. The human cost is staggering, with over 19 lives lost in the protests so far, a tragic testament to the severity of the situation. The spark that ignited this tinderbox was a government decision to ban 26 social media platforms, including widely used apps like YouTube, Twitter, and WhatsApp. The government's justification, spreading fake news and public disorder, was seen by many as a thinly veiled attempt to suppress dissent and control the flow of information. But this move backfired spectacularly, acting as a major catalyst for the very protests it was meant to prevent. The power of social media was proven as videos on platforms like TikTok went viral, exposing the stark contrast between the extravagant lives of Nepal's elite and the grinding poverty of the common people. The root of the anger is economic hardship. With a GDP per capita lower than its neighbors, India and Bangladesh, Nepal's economic struggles are a daily reality for most citizens. The protesters believe that the nation's wealth is not being invested in the people, but is instead being hoarded by a small, privileged group of families. This widespread economic inequality has created a deep sense of injustice. The ongoing protests, in turn, have further destabilized the already fragile economy, raising concerns about the future. A promised $500 million grant from the US is now in jeopardy, a development that could severely impact the country's economic prospects.